So, yep. So today is the presentation of the European Arthouse Cinema Day. I guess if you're here, you already know a bit about the project. For some of you, it might be the first time that you consider taking part. For other, maybe you've taken part in the years before. But I'll give you a quick refresher on what it is and why we are excited to organize this event this year again. So this year is going to be the 9th edition of the European Arthouse Cinema Day, and it's going to happen on the 17th of November. So the date has been fixed for a couple of weeks now. We always organize the event rather in the second half of November, and this year is going to be the 17th. What is the European Arthouse Cinema Day? It's a global event. You can see on the map all the cinemas that are taking part in Europe. But we also have some cinemas in other countries beyond the borders of Europe. Last year we had South Korea, Nigeria, and some cinemas in Latin America that took part. So we're really trying to reach out all the cinemas that are willing to participate in Europe, and also the ones that are interested beyond the European borders. And we understand Europe not as the European Union, but rather as the Council of Europe's definition, so much larger than just the EU. So what is the RCD? It's a day to celebrate art house cinema and European films all over the world. We want to show great films, but films for us in the event are a bit less important than celebrating the cinemas. The core of the event, the reason why we do that, is to spotlight the great work that you, the cinema exhibitors, do all year long. We know that art house cinemas show great films all year long, and we want to have one day that is dedicated to showcasing, especially towards political executive, showing them the work that art house cinemas do in order to keep European films on the screen alive and well, to bring public to the cinema, but also as places of democracy and places of community. And this is why a second point that is extremely important to us this year, it was always at the core of the event, but maybe not explicitly enough, is the political messaging. The European Arthouse Cinema Day is a political event, not in the sense that it's an event that stands for a party or another. That's not the case, but it's an event that stands up for values and that stands up for the role of the art house cinema. So we emphasize this year a lot the political messaging in our communication. We stand for democracy, for tolerance, and for open artistic exchanges beyond borders and cultures. That is something that you will find in all of our communication on social media, and especially in our trailer. The trailer this year is going to be quite different. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to show you about the trailer yet, but the trailer is really going to be about showcasing the work that cinema exhibitors do all year long, and the crucial social role that art house cinemas play in Europe. We want to show the political deciders that cinemas are not just a place for film, they are a place for people, and it's extremely important to keep supporting cinemas as physical places, because this is where people get to meet each other, get to discuss about films and about other topics, and there's a lot of things happening beyond films in art house cinemas that are worth fighting for and worth supporting on the political level. And another role of the European Arthouse Cinema Day is to be a platform for the art house sector to network, to exchange best practices and share knowledge. The goal of the day is for cinemas to put up interesting events, and when we get the result, or even during the preparation, we try to share the elements that are being given to us by different cinemas to help cinemas learn from one another, like how are things made in Poland versus how are things made in France, and kind of offer a way for cinemas to learn from their peers, actually. So we really understand the day as a moment to create and share knowledge in the sector. I'll come back a bit later in the presentation on something that we've created last year called the Hub, which is really a concrete way for us to help share this knowledge. Then why participate in the European Arthouse Cinema Day? Something that comes quite often in the discussion that we have with cinema is why have a day for arthouse film and European films? Because for most of the cinemas that participate in the day, every day is Arthouse Cinema Day, and we understand that. We understand that it's already at the core of what you do. But participating in the European Arthouse Cinema Day has several reasons. I'll start with a few facts and figures. So I said we'll be on the 9th edition. We'll started the project in 2016. And over the years, more than 650 cinemas have participated in 38 countries. And in 8 editions, we managed to have more than 400,000 spectators, knowing that there were 2 years where obviously COVID happened, so the numbers would be even higher without COVID. So why participate in the European Arthouse Cinema Day? First is to join this group of cinemas. As you see, there are hundreds of them, and it's something that offers a lot of advantages to take part in this group, to demonstrate the commitment to European films in one specific day that helps make the commitment of cinemas more visible. It's also a political event, as I've said, and one of the roles of the day is to remind stakeholders of the political and social role of the art of cinemas. Here, to be really honest, it's a numbers game. The more cinemas participate, the more spectators come, the more events take place during the Art House Cinema Day, the more we can use that in our discussion with political figures to show the importance of art house cinemas, to show here are that many cinemas that are dedicated to this art form and to keeping European films alive. And here are that many people that are interested in seeing those things and taking part in events that celebrate European films. So it's really, participating is almost a political act because it helps us in our lobbying to political deciders to show the importance of European cinemas and European films. It's also a great way to celebrate the diversity and quality of European films. I'll talk about it later in the programming section, but you don't have to only show films that just came out in the cinema. You can totally do that, but it's also a day where you can create events around European films that might be archive films, short films, experimental films, things that already happen in your cinemas. But it's also a day where you can create a special program dedicated to European cinema. And it's also a way to try out new formats of marketing and programming. As I've said, it's a day of experimentation. And we really encourage cinemas to think bold and think outside of the box to celebrate this day. And then we can help you gather the results of what worked and what didn't, and help spread the knowledge that is created by this event. To talk more concretely, to participate, you have to register on our website. I'll show you directly here. When you go to our website, you have the cinema area. If you already have an account, you can just click on login, give your username, which is usually the name of your company, and your password. If you forgot it, you can obviously reset it, or you can register. There you'll have to enter a few information, and then you'll have access to a lot of elements. I'll show them later, but we'll provide a lot of communication element to registered cinemas. Another thing that you can do if you think, well, I will participate, but I won't need communication material, I don't intend to do like a big special program, is you can simply register your cinema. If you have already participated, you have this page. I'll show it here as well. You go on registration, register, and there you choose your country, the city and the cinema. And then you can just click a box saying, I'll participate again this year. Or if you have never participated, you can register a new cinema. There you'll have to enter a few information and show that you'll participate this year. And that way, for us, we'll have your cinema on the map of participating cinemas. The reason why we offer the simple registration where you won't have access to the communication elements is, again, for cinemas that they know they'll be showing European films on this day. It's part of their regular programming. They don't have the means or the capacity to do any special events, but that way they can label their regular program on the 17th of November as part of the European Arthouse Cinema Day, which helps us with the numbers, as I've said. So even if you don't intend to do like anything special on that day, but you're showing European films anyway, I would really encourage you and other cinemas to simply register for us to have those numbers of participating cinema, and for other cinemas and other spectators to see you have participated in the event. So what I would recommend, obviously, is to firstly register in the cinema area to have access to the whole element, and then to say that you'll participate this year again. But if you think that's too much commitment, then simply register your cinemas. And that way we have a long list of cinemas participating. Then what we provide to participating cinemas. If you register through the cinema area, you'll have access to the digital poster that we are currently working on, that is based on an artwork by a renowned artist. I'll show you the artwork in a second. We will also communicate about the event across all of our channels. We have one social media manager and a social media marketing agency working with us to really do a lot of communication on the event, and meaning on the events that happen all over Europe within the framework of the Arthouse Cinema Day. So there'll be a lot of promotion around it that will help people get to know the event and obviously bring more spectators to your cinema. We also provide the support of high-level filmmakers as ambassadors. I'll show you also a bit later, but every year we have several filmmakers that are well-known, that usually have films coming out, be the ambassadors of the day. They will provide, for some of them, video messages encouraging people to go to the cinema, and they will usually take part in some special events that will attract public as well. Then we're working with several partners, institutions and festivals to provide lists of films that are of particular interest. You're obviously free to program whatever you want, as long as there are European films during the Arthouse Cinema Day. But we'll also provide ideas for you to pick from if you think, well, I don't really know what would fit my program on this day. There'll be several lists made by several partners that you can pick and choose from. And then I'll talk about the hub a bit later at the end, but we provide guidelines and ideas for your program or for action that you can take to make this day special. And we're always open to ideas and to help you make your project reality. So if you have an idea for an event that you would like to offer on the Arthouse Cinema Day, but you don't really know how to make this happen, or you need support on this, this is what the CKA, and especially me, that's what we're here for. So don't hesitate to reach out to us to tell us about the project that you're thinking about, and we'll see in which ways we can help you make that a reality. So as I was saying, we have for each edition a poster that is signed by an artist. This year, this is the final artwork. You're actually the first people seeing it besides the team. The artwork has been signed and produced by Sepideh Farsi. She's a French-Iranian director that has worked mainly between documentary and fiction. And she released 2 years ago an animation film, The Sirene, that was based on her own story of trying to flee Iran during the war. The main concept of the artwork is, you can see it very clearly, are the light bulbs, the diversity of the people that are coming to the cinema every day and on European Arthouse Cinema Day, getting enlightened together by what they see on the screen. So this will be made into an international posters for the event, and then it will be created as national posters. So for France and Italy, there'll definitely be a French and an Italian version in the country's language with the information that people need for the event, and you'll be able to download and to use this poster once it's ready in September. And we also use the poster as the basis for further communication element. I'll show you right now what we had last year. We did more than 20 posts on our social medias, mostly based on the poster from last year that you can see on the left. And then we made several formats to communicate around the event. We also had the trailer that was posted. As I said, this year the trailer will be quite different. It will be more focused on a message, which is Arthouse Cinema stands up for. And then there'll be a lot of elements, political elements that are listed in the trailer. We also make a lot of social media posts around our ambassadors. I'll show you in a minute. And we, through our social media marketing agency, we have targeted marketing for every country. So every country has what they call dark posts, which are posts that appear in the feed of people promoting the event. So we're really doing everything that we can within our means and within our budget to promote the event very largely through all of our channels. And then the ambassadors. So the name of the ambassadors are not known for this year. We're working with several people, but I guess we won't have any names before September, as people have to confirm their participation. But last year we had 3 ambassadors: Ilke Czatak from Germany, Matteo Garrone from Italy, and Isabel Coichet from Spain. And they support the event in different ways. First of all, by lending their name and credibility to the event, and then participating in special events. Ilke Czatak made a video message for us that we shared on social media, inviting people to go to the cinema on the Arthouse Cinema Day. And he also facilitated a premiere of his film, The Teacher's Lounge, in Sweden. Matteo Garrone, we worked with the Arras Film Festival to premiere his movie Io Capitano, which was live stream with a Q&A and then transmitted in several cinemas. And something similar happened with Isabel Coichet, who premiered her movie Un Amor and then had a Q&A that was streamed in several Spanish cinemas. So it's also something that we intend to do this year again with our ambassadors, is to have a screening of their film with them being present, and then offer any participating cinema the possibility to live stream to their audience the Q&A after the film. So it's one of the formats that we experimented with last year and that worked really well. So if this is something that you're interested, you can let us know and we'll see what we can make happen in each country. Then we have a list of recommendations on how to make the European Arthouse Day special in your cinema. The first one will be the list of films from our partners that I've already talked about. Again, you are very free to choose any film that you want for your program on this day. But if you feel like you need inspiration, there'll be those lists that are available. There are 2 ways to participate. The first one is if you have European films in your regular programming on this day, and you say, this is all that I can do on this day, then by registering, you can label your regular program as part of the European Arthouse Cinema Day. If you have communication material like a flyer or something, you can use the materials that we'll provide to make it visible in your materials that this is part of a special day. But what we really encourage as far as possible is eventization. This is what really works for cinemas in general. You know that probably better than I do, is to make something special. That can be really anything. You can offer a retrospective on a filmmaker that you like and show several of their films on the 17th of November, or you can create a young audience program, you can create a short film program, you can invite speakers to talk about a film after the screening. Last year, several cinemas showed a film about food and had like tastings after the film. The possibilities are endless, and this is, from our experience, what really works is when cinema try to organize something special on top of a film screening. And you can also put up some decorations. Some cinemas last year had banners of small European flags hanging in the cinema on the day to show that this was part of a European-wide event. You'll have the digital version of the poster. You can print that and put it up. We will also try to print out some postcards based on the artwork that we can send to the interested cinemas. And what we would like you to do as far as possible is to take pictures or videos during the event of what's happening, of the decoration you put up in your cinema, and send it to us after the event. That will help us to show our partners and funders what's happening, and that helps us share pictures of the event. We'll also produce a short questionnaire, so something that spectators can fill out after their participation, because we will need this year to get some data from the audience, meaning what age group they are, if they go to the cinemas regularly, and how did they hear about the European Arthouse Cinema Day. So we will provide you with a banner to put on the screen before the event with a QR code that they can scan to answer that. And on the postcards that we'll produce, there'll also be a QR code. So if you could encourage people after the screenings to answer those, that would really help us gather some data about the event. Then what you can do as well, very easily, is host a screening. You can take the microphone before showing the films and say to the viewers that the film they're about to see is part of a special day, is part of the European Arthouse Cinema Day. Make them known what we stand for, why this event exists, tell them that it happens all over Europe and the world. And you can liaise with local partners if you want to organize something with, I don't know, a dance company or a theater company or any association or actors that you know and already work with. That would also be a great event to create for the Arthouse Cinema Day. And finally, you can take inspiration on the hub. So I'll show you right now what it is and what you can use it for. The hub is a platform that we created last year in order to help spread knowledge, information, tips, know-hows, and all of those things. You can access it at the link that I put here. I'll show you the website. This is here. Most of the contents are accessible without registration. And especially what I want to talk about right now is the best practices. We worked with several people that are expert in the field of cinema to write articles about what is possible to do in several fields. You have several things, you can have a look at that, but what I'll show you now is for the European Arthouse Cinema Day. We produced several articles last year on different topics that you can use to make the Arthouse Cinema Day in your cinema and in your country special. You have a guide on influencer marketing, on promoting the day on social media, with really concrete tips and ideas for your cinema. So you find all of this here. Otherwise, you have tips on audience development, business, marketing, programming, space, that are all written by experts. So you really get to hear and read a lot about ideas and possibilities and what has been done before. One of our latest article is on how the Arthouse Cinema Day happened in Sweden last year. And two other elements I want to show you on the hub that are not directly linked to the Arthouse Cinema Day is the initiatives map and the cinema program exchange. For those, you need to register. I really encourage you to register for the hub. It's absolutely free. And then we have the initiative map where you can see the main initiative happening in the art house sector. Right now, we updated the initiatives that we know of, but if you have anything similar, if you have something happening in your cinema or in your network, if you're part of a network doing something special, please let us know. We would love to complete the map with your projects. This is what it's here for, is to really showcase and give visibility to the things that you are doing. And the other element is the cinema program exchange. Program exchange. And here you can find the program of some cinemas that already participate. We really encourage you to register for the hub and then upload your programs. That way other cinemas can see what you're programming, how you're programming, and you can have access to the programs of other cinemas. It's here to help spread knowledge, help share programming tips and all. And we think it's really beneficial when Arthouse Cinema get to learn from their colleagues. So to give a quick summary of the presentation we just had, you will be able to register for the Arthouse Cinema Day starting on the 15th of July. So really, if you want to participate from this date on, you can indicate that you will be taking part, and you can encourage other cinemas that you know of to participate. You can spread the word about the event and the registration. We'll obviously do a lot of communication around that, but what works really well is word of mouth when people share those information within their network. Then you can plan screenings and events for the 17th of November. You can think about what you want to do, what you would want to experiment with, or what special events you think would fit well on this day within your program. Starting in September, we'll have the communication materials in the cinema area that I showed you for download. Then you can start using them as you want. You can really make what you want with it. We'll create things that are already ready to use, but also some elements that you can pass on to your normal communication material. I would also obviously encourage you to register for the hub, to read and get inspired by the articles, to upload your programs, and then send us your initiatives for the map or for an article. We also produce ourselves for the moment the articles that you can see on the hub. We work with a writer that is specialized in cinema. And if you have anything you would want to be featured on the hub, you can also contact us at Sikae or at my email address. And you can tell us about the ideas that you had, about the projects that you led, and then we'll gladly help you make an article out of it and publish it on the hub.